Hello everybody and welcome to Forever Rugby on Forever Sports. For today's preview, it's the Sharks versus the Lions in the first game of the second round of the Rainbow Cup South Africa. And the Sharks looking to try and make it 2 out of 2, whilst the Lions are looking to try and get their first points on the board. Although it's going to be a very big ask for the side from Johannesburg, who are injury ravaged at the moment and had to make quite a few changes, which they wouldn't have wanted to do. I mean, it's quite a short squad as it is, with a couple of departures and you know, it's not quite a squad where they're exactly where they want to be in terms of the players they have, in terms of player availability. The Sharks, on the other hand, are completely unchanged and actually have an injury comeback on the bench, which is very useful. So, in theory, in Durban, it's all going to suit the Sharks. We're going to sort of dissect the teams and stuff like that in a moment. But please do smash a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. We will be live for the game, obviously having a review afterwards as well. 2 games tomorrow, Sharks versus the Lions, before the Stormers versus the Bulls at 6:15. You know, one after another, so it's going to be just a weekend of stacked rugby tomorrow afternoon, which should be quite cool. It should be some very interesting games. Yeah, so if we look at the sides themselves, and we'll start with the Sharks side, who are unchanged in that starting lineup. No changes there at all, which is, you know, why change a winning formula? You know, I think that they were in many ways sort of subpar last weekend, and Sean Everett alluded to the fact, he said that they're a performance-based team, and that they didn't play as well as they wanted to, and as well as they know that they can last weekend. They had that really good sort of 12-minute period where Reniel Hugo scored that hat-trick, but they also in the first half really allowed the Stormers to put in quite a big advantage and to put them under quite a lot of pressure. So they will be hoping to start a lot better against the Lions back at home. So obviously if you look at that lineup, Oxenchair and Thomas du Toit are fairly solid. I thought Pheasant Barter struggled last weekend, especially at line-out time. Something that he needs to try and improve, or else, first of all, you know, the Sharks apparently being linked to Bongi Manambi, but also, you know, the likes of Dylan Richardson, who also sort of struggled a little bit with that. Dan Yost currently injured. You know, if Pheasant Barter's got a very good opportunity right now to try and put his hand up and say that you don't need a hooker, you can back me. But if he has issues like at the lineup like he did last weekend, it becomes very difficult to try and back him. Ruben van Heerden and Reniel Hugo continue to be the 2 locks. I'm not going to change a winning formula there. Siya Kolisi, Hengo Fantastico Mozenoche are the loose trio. I think they'll suit this game a lot more than the Stormers. The Lions are also a side that likes to play quite loose and quite sort of open, which will suit that loose trio who really like to try and find space. Siya Kolisi is going to be obviously very big on defense. Sika Mozenoche is going to be trying to find those sort of gaps and try and become that sort of bit like a Warren Whiteley, kind of a hybrid forward sort of backline player who likes to run with the ball. Grant Williams, I thought, was fantastic last weekend. Very quick off the ball and very good acceleration. A very good attacking scrum half. And then Kerwin Bosch, I thought, had quite a quiet game last weekend, so hopefully something an opportunity for him to be a bit more involved. Yao Penkley and Spoon Corsi, I thought, were pretty poor. Not poor. I thought Spoon Corsi didn't have his best game, and Penkley had very limited opportunity to try and express himself. So they'll be hoping for more ball and more space for them to run in. As well, Jamie Ward and Lakanya who also, I think, had a bit of a quiet game. The Sharks struggled to get their backline into things last weekend. So hopefully opportunity for them to try and find some more space and run. Somebody who found some space and was very good last weekend, there was Apelele Fasio. I thought continues to sort of make his push for that Springbok starting squad. You know, really impressed last weekend. Always looked to run, always looked to try and counter-attack, and was very impressive. On the bench, just the 2 changes. Leroux Ruth comes in for JJ van der Mesht, and Jaden Hendricks is back from injury, and he comes in place of Seneo Nohambu. He's kind of fallen down the pecking order. Somebody who was so instrumental to their form in the Super Rugby almost a year ago is suddenly kind of finding himself third choice, because if Grant Williams plays like he did last weekend, he becomes a difficult player to drop. And Jaden Hendricks starting in the Currie Cup final showed you how he is sort of risen up to probably being the Sharks' #1 scrum off at the moment. But in terms of the front row, you've got Kieran van Vuuren, Ntutuko Mkhuna, and Vian Herbst. Leroux Roots, Pepsi Buthelezi covers the rest of the scrum, and then you've got Jaden Hendricks, Marty Liebach, and Werner Cox. So it's a very strong bench as well, especially if you look at those backline players who can come on and make a difference. And then if you look at the Lions, it's really not good reading, because there are a lot of injuries. If Tian Swanepoel walked off last weekend and he's out for the season, which is the last thing they need. Stian Pino also has a hamstring injury, so he is unavailable for this weekend. Also, no Willem van der Sluys. Willem Alberts is still out injured. Obviously, no Alton Yankee, who's currently in France. No Yanni du Plessis this weekend. So it's a very depleted Lions side. But I think that front row is better. I think that Carlos Sardi has to start for me. I think he's one of the Lions stars, really. I think he's one of the best players in the squad. So it's good to see him starting with Steve Satoli and PJ Buerta. Hopefully, with Carlos Sardi starting, they can actually try and and front up against the Sharks and try and really sort of put a bit of pressure on them nice and early. Ruben Schoolman partners Renard Northnachel, who's captain of the side, is a very good player. I'm a big fan of Northnachel, so I've got no issues there. MJ Pulse, Vincent Tuka, and Frankie Horner are a very young, loose trio, and I thought they were quite impressive. I thought they were one of the sort of shining lights for the Lions last weekend. Work rate's very high. Frankie Horner I thought was pretty good. Vincent Tuka is a fantastic player. Will do everything. He'll tackle for you. He'll run for you. He's a very confrontational player. Loves the part of the game, and also very good in the loose. Andrea Warner I thought was a bit slow last week at the breakdown, and I'd like to see Morne van den Berg gets more opportunity to start. But on the back of signing a new contract, Warner gets another opportunity to start this weekend. As does Fred Zeilinger, obviously the currently the only Lions fly half that's currently fit. Tian Swanepoel not even available to try and cover that area. So he. Two things. First of all, he needs to stay fit, and second of all, he needs to really sort of take a lot of responsibility on his shoulders because it's a very depleted side, and he needs to sort of stand up. As does the likes of Courtney Kusan, who is probably the most experienced Lions player in that lineup. I thought it was very good last weekend. Quite industrious. Really looks for a lot of work. He is partnered by Rabs Makwana, who is coming into the side in place of Steven Pienaar. He was one of the leading try scorers in the Pro 14 a couple of years ago, so it's a very good player there. And then Dankfield will continue to captain the side next to Wandisile Similane. And I think the biggest thing for the Lions is to try and front up the pack, and then you've got to get that ball to Wandisile Similane as often as possible. He can create something out of nothing. He's the most exciting player, and he always looks like he's going to find a gap or something. So the game plan has to be getting into the game as much as possible. And then EW Fullion comes in from the bench. He was started fly at full back. Pretty good under the high ball last weekend, but I think he struggled a little bit with his kicking. And then on the bench, Jakob Asaki returns from injury in a bit of an injury boost, which is quite good because I think Morne Brandon really struggled last weekend off the bench, couldn't find any of his line-out jumpers, and had a very bad time. Nathan Macbeth and Asanate and Klabakanya are the other two props. I'm a very big fan of Klabakanya. I think he's got a very big future, very big player. So nice to see him get an opportunity. Then Len Mercedes is back as well. It's a nice boost there. Emmanuel Tutuka and Richard Tutuka's brother is on the bench as well. And then Morne van den Berg. Jordan Hendrickse, he's a very young fly half. But he will cover some of the back line, and Birger Odendahl will cover the rest. So yeah, it's not your first choice Lions side. So they're going to be up against it because it's a very good Sharks side who are looking to try and put in a big performance. So I mean, I think head will tell me Sharks, heart will tell me Lions. It should be a fantastic match either way. I'm probably going to go Sharks by about 10 to 15, I think, unfortunately. Although the Lions' defensive effort was pretty impressive last weekend for a lot of the match. But let me know what you think down in the comments below. Do smash a like on the video. Do subscribe to the channel if you are new. My name is Steven, and I'll chat to you soon.